A federal judge says the Justice Department showed presumptive vindictiveness against Kilmar Abrego Garcia by reopening a dormant 4-year-old traffic stop near Cookeville, Tennessee, in which the Maryland man was never charged. The retaliation, says Judge Waverly Crenshaw, was for Abrego's successful lawsuit challenging his wrongful deportation to El Salvador in March of 2025 at the beginning of the Trump administration's mass deportation sweep. In a statement, Abrego responded to the decision saying, "Thank you to God, my attorneys, we are CASA, and everyone who has continued to support the fight for justice." The statement went on to say, "Justice is a big word and an even bigger promise to fulfill, and I am grateful that today justice has taken a step forward." Attorney Sean Hecker represented him in the Tennessee case.
I think this was a case where it was rather obvious to those who saw it play out that this was a case that never would have been brought, but for the fact that Mr. Abrego Garcia fought his unlawful deportation to El Salvador and took his case all the way to the Supreme Court and won it.
In Maryland federal court last year, the Justice Department admitted it made, quote, an administrative error in violating a 2019 order prohibiting Abrego's deportation to El Salvador, a country he fled as a teenager in fear of gang threats, he said. But the DOJ dragged its heels, claiming it did not have the ability to return him. Last April, Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen flew to El Salvador's notorious Secot confinement facility as part of his efforts to ensure due process for his constituent.
I think the American people understood that this was not about one man alone. This was not just about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. They understood very clearly that if the president, the executive branch, the government could just violate his rights and snatch him and disappear him, that all of our rights are put at jeopardy.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia returned to Maryland the face of the pushback against the federal government's increasingly unpopular immigration policies. The Justice Department released a statement regarding the Tennessee case. Another activist judge has placed politics above public safety. The judge's order is wrong and dangerous, and we will appeal. Maryland Congressman Glenn Ivey is a former prosecutor who was involved in the efforts to get Abrego, his constituent, back to the U.S.
I mean, this is a Department of Justice that bears no resemblance to the group that I worked for, back in the day.
ICE has indicated it still intends to deport Kilmar Abrego Garcia, but a temporary order from a judge in Maryland prohibits them from doing that. Jackie Bensen, News 4.